Thank you for joining today's session. We will be getting started shortly. We do have a lot of folks signed up for today's session, and we want to give everyone a moment to log on and get connected so that we can dive into today's session. I do want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm Jasmine Garrett here with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Today's session is an informational overview on the next New Jersey Manufacturing Executive Order 63 listening session. A quick housekeeping note, we do suspect that many questions will be answered in today's presentation. However, you are able to write in questions at any point during the presentation using Zoom's Q&A feature. It is one of your Zoom command options and will allow us to make sure we are able to get back to you and let others see these questions and answers as well. Today's session is being recorded and will be posted on our NJEDA and YouTube pages. The slides and other resources will also be available in the next few days. Now to get us started with the presentation, I will shift things over to NJEDA's Director of Events and Marketing, Virginia Flood. Virginia?
Thank you very much, Jasmine, and thanks to everyone for being here today. Jean, great, terrific, thank you. Members of the public can submit written feedback on the next New Jersey Manufacturing Program rules via www.njedA.gov/public_information/#rules through August 22nd, 2025 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This public feedback session will be recorded and posted on njedA.gov so that members of the public unable to participate in this virtual session have a chance to review. Pursuant to Governor Murphy's Executive Order number 63, the NJEDA is providing opportunities for groups and stakeholders to engage with the authority in crafting rules around the Next New Jersey program incentive. We welcome constructive input on how to ensure this new program is created and structured and administered in a manner that drives opportunities for all residents and communities. This session will begin with a presentation to summarize the information, and an opportunity for public feedback will be available following the presentation. It is expected that the entirety of this session would take up to 90 minutes. I expect it will be shorter, but we're allowing 90 minutes just in case we have a high volume of comments. Public feedback policy. Feedback may be submitted verbally by using the raise hand function in Zoom or in writing through the Q&A component of Zoom. Input will not be accepted verbally until the presentation is concluded. Any member of the public who wishes to speak during the public feedback period should use the raise hand function. The host will acknowledge each speaker in the order they raise their hand and will open the speaker's microphone so they can make their remarks. To ensure that everyone that chooses to do so has an opportunity to speak, each speaker will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak and should limit their input to matters pertaining specifically to the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program. Each member of the public who wishes to do so will have one opportunity to provide remarks. If time remains at the end of the session, we will open the opportunity for additional remarks. Speakers should not expect to engage in a dialogue. NJEDA staff may respond to basic or clarifying questions. However, staff are not obligated to answer impromptu questions or address remarks from members of the public. Speakers and members of the public should at all times maintain proper decorum and provide their remarks in a civil manner. For this presentation, please note the following. Non-highlighted text indicates areas where the NJEDA has used the rules to add clarity to the legislation. Highlighted text is already written into law, and these are areas where the NJEDA does not have the discretion to make changes. And with that, I will turn it over to Jean Palermo from the NJEDA's illustrious manufacturing team.
Thank you, Virginia. Hello, everyone. My name is Jean Palermo, and I'm a project officer with the NJEDA and product owner for the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program. I'm joined today by Matthew Abraham, Managing Director of the Manufacturing Incentives and Tax Credits team, and Ivan Mendez, Manager of Incentives and Tax Credits. We're excited to present the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program to you today. On January 7th, 2021, Governor Phil Murphy signed the New Jersey Economic Recovery Act of 2020, a key step toward revitalizing the state's economy. Building on this momentum, the Next New Jersey manufacturing program, was signed into law on August 13th, 2025, with the goal of driving job creation and capital investment into New Jersey's thriving manufacturing sector. The program is designed to position the state as a leader in the manufacturing industry. The Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program is a tax credit initiative designed to attract substantial investment, generate jobs, and establish New Jersey as a leader in the manufacturing industry. The Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program will have a $500 million allocation, which has a $100 million set aside for clean energy manufacturers for the first 2 years of the program. After that, unused proceeds will roll right back over into the general manufacturing allocation. The program offers transferable tax credits to incentivize companies primarily involved in manufacturing activities right here in New Jersey, with applications accepted on a rolling basis through March 1st, 2029, and subject to availability. By supporting qualified investments, this initiative is paving the way for a thriving manufacturing ecosystem in the Garden State, positioning New Jersey as a leader in the industry. This exciting initiative offers long-term benefits with tax credits issued over 5 years, providing ongoing benefits for businesses. The tax credits are transferable and have a carry-forward provision, but awardees must commit to creating and maintaining jobs at the facility in New Jersey for 10 years. Before we dive into the eligibility criteria of the program, we would like to go over a term that you'll hear a bunch during this presentation, which is qualified business facility. In short, a qualified business facility is a building or a complex of buildings or structural components of a building located in New Jersey, primarily used for manufacturing. Any ancillary activities at the facility, like packaging, distribution, including but not limited to warehousing, can be counted towards manufacturing space as long as those activities are tied to the products being manufactured. Research and development can also count as manufacturing space as long as it creates new products or improve existing products to be manufactured. So there are key eligibility requirements of this program. First, you need to create at least 20 new jobs, of which the median salary of those jobs at the qualified business facility are paid at least 120% of the county median manufacturing income where the qualified business facility is located. Note, if the qualified business facility sits in multiple counties, the county with the highest county median manufacturing income where the qualified business facility is located will be used. So next is, companies will ensure that at least 80% of the incentivized employees' work time is spent in New Jersey and at the qualified business facility. Companies will have to make a minimum capital investment of at least $10 million to improve their facility. And there's a collaboration component that we'll discuss further in the upcoming slides. Companies must maintain a record of good standing with the New Jersey Departments of Treasury, Department of Labor and Workforce Development, and Department of Environmental Protection. Additionally, construction and building service contracts must comply with New Jersey's prevailing wage and labor requirements. And to ensure sustainability, companies must also meet the minimum environmental and sustainability standards set by the authority in alignment with the Green Building Manual prepared by the Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs. A major component of this program focuses on manufacturers primarily engaged in manufacturing-related activities. But what exactly does that mean? Primarily engaged means that the facility's activities need to be greater than 50% involved in manufacturing, which means that the ancillary activities at the qualified business facility not tied to the manufacturing process will need to make up less than 50% of the facility's activities. A manufacturer simply means a business engaged in manufacturing, and manufacturing activities or the activities done by the manufacturer do not include refurbishing or repairing goods, retail, wholesale, packaging, software development, resource extraction, or waste incineration. Aside from traditional manufacturers, this program also focuses on clean energy product manufacturing activities, which has a $100 million set aside for the first 2 years of the program. After that, unused proceeds will roll right back into the general manufacturing allocation. Clean energy product manufacturer means a manufacturer of components specifically for renewable energy. Clean energy product manufacturer does not include businesses engaged in the production or assembly of components specifically for combustion-based energy generation. Keep in mind, if a clean energy project manufacturer does not meet the definition under the program, they will still be eligible for the general manufacturing funds. The collaboration requirement is designed to create powerful synergies that amplify results and strengthen New Jersey's growing manufacturing ecosystem. A collaborative relationship refers to a contractual relationship as approved by the authority over the term of the commitment period, which may be renewed annually between an eligible business and a New Jersey-based public or private university or college, public or private high school, a workforce development organization, vocational technical school or institution, labor organization, business or employer or association, or nonprofit community-based organization that provides workforce training, apprenticeships, and career development services, entities or consortia made up of the previous 5 entities or any combination thereof. This collaborative relationship will be evidenced by demonstrating opportunities for workforce hiring, training, or apprenticeship, research and development, demonstration projects, curriculum development or educational activity, or other measures determined appropriate by the authority. The 10-year commitment to New Jersey involves a structured process for receiving and maintaining tax credit after the certification period. The certification period begins after board approval, and the business has 3 years with 2 6-month extensions to show that they have met the CapEx, employment creation, and other requirements of the program. During the first 5 years, known as the award period, the eligible business receives tax credits. Following this period, years 6 to 10 represent the commitment period, where the business must continue to meet the requirements to maintain its eligibility and ensure long-term commitment to the state. The tax credit is determined by using the lesser of 3 amounts: award calculation, maximum award percentage, and max dollar amount. The award calculation takes 0.1% of the new full-time jobs created and then multiplies that number by the eligible business total capital investment. So in the example that we see in this slide, if a manufacturing company proposes to create 100 new jobs and invest $300 million, the potential tax incentive is determined by using the award calculation and then comparing that amount with the maximum percentage and the max award amount, with the final award determined by the lowest of the 3 amounts. So in this example, the award calculation, we take 0.1% of the number of new jobs, which is 100, which gives us an award percentage of 10%. Then we'll take that 10% and multiply that by the 300 million, and that gives us an award of $30 million. Now we'll compare. So if we use the max percentage, which is 25%, and multiply that by the 300 million, we get 75 million in potential award. And of course, the max award is capped at $150 million. So in this case, after we compare, the company would receive the lesser of the 3 amounts. So they would be eligible for $30 million in tax incentives. In years 1 through 5, the award period, companies must maintain at least 80% of the required job creation and other criteria to be in compliance. Falling below this threshold will result in a reduction of the awarded tax credits. In years 6 to 10, the commitment period, companies are given grace period to recover any shortfall. However, continued noncompliance after this period would lead to a recapture of tax credits. In short, tax credits will be forfeited or recaptured based on the company's ability to meet job creation, facility, and other requirements during the certification, award, and commitment periods. Any recapture will be proportional to the level of noncompliance, and companies will be provided time to recover before full recapture is enforced. Years 1 through 5, during the award period, if the company falls below 80% of the required jobs, they would face a forfeiture in their award and a possible recapture. This means if they were expected to create, say, 200 jobs, they need to maintain at least 160 jobs or 80% of the required amount. If they dip below that threshold, the tax credit award is reduced accordingly. Years 6 through 10, the commitment period, there's a 1-year grace period. This means if a company falls below the required number of jobs, they have a full year to recover the required jobs without facing consequences. If they don't recover within that grace year, then recapture is enforced. Before we dive into what capital investments are eligible under the program, let's discuss the eligibility of an affiliate contributing towards a capital investment. An affiliate of an eligible business may contribute towards the capital investment and eligible position requirements, and they may satisfy the requirements for site control during construction and the eligibility period. However, in no event shall the tax credit certificate be issued to an affiliate. So what is considered a capital investment? Capital investment refers to expenses incurred by a business or its affiliate or on behalf of the landlord between the submission of the application and the project's completion. For the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program, capital investments include site preparation and construction, obtaining and installing furnishings and machinery, improvement to site-related utility of the real property, the value of capital lease as defined by generally accepted accounting practices, any associated soft costs which shall not exceed 20% of the capital investment. Capital investments shall not include site acquisition, vehicles and heavy equipment not permanently located in the building structure, facility, or improvement. Landlord contributions for the purpose of the eligibility of this program are allowed. Regarding soft costs, the soft cost portion of the capital investment is capped at 20%, which is in line with generally accepted accounting practices. Soft costs means all costs associated with financing, design, engineering, legal services, or real estate commissions. They do not include early lease termination costs, airfare, mileage, tolls, gas, meals, packing material, marketing, temporary signage, incentive consultant fees, authority fees, loan interest payments, escrows, or other similar costs. A business participating in the program will be allowed to lease up to 5% of its qualified business facility to another business. However, this leasing arrangement is capped at 5% of the total space to ensure that the primary purpose of the facility remains focused on the business's operations and the intended use of the qualified business facility. Additionally, businesses will have the unique opportunity to lease space to a child care facility without any restrictions on the amount of space, as long as the qualified business facility is still primarily engaged in manufacturing. This carve-out acknowledges the importance of supporting employee work-life balance and access to essential services like childcare. By providing unlimited leasing space to childcare facilities, the program aims to encourage businesses to offer family-friendly environments, which can improve employee retention, attract talent, and contribute to a positive workplace culture. This policy helps create a more supportive ecosystem, balancing business needs with social responsibility. The proposed appendix to the NJEDA Green Building Manual would outline acceptable green construction standards widely recognized in the industry. To comply with minimum environmental and sustainability standards, a qualified business would, within 2 years of service, adhere to green building standards. The program will also offer stackable bonuses for 1% for being in an Opportunity Zone eligible census tract, 1% for holding a state business certification like a minority business enterprise or a woman business enterprise or a business or a veteran-owned business. And again, all those at 1% each. Make note, business certification of minority women business enterprise would equate to 2% bonus just because they encompass two of the certifications. And lastly, 1% for having at least one active collective bargaining agreement or labor harmony agreement in place. Keep in mind the bonus is calculated off the annual award and not to exceed a maximum bonus of 5%. And it's still not to exceed a maximum total award amount of $150 million. The Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program's fees is structured to be scalable, with the fees tied directly to the size of the project, which is determined by the number of employees and the jobs created. The fee structure incorporates projected administrative costs and the size of the project as it relates to job creation for a more precise calculation. To sum up, the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program is an exciting tax credit initiative designed to drive investment, create jobs, and position New Jersey as a leader in the manufacturing industry. With a minimum investment of up $10 million and a creation of at least 20 full-time jobs, this program offers powerful incentives for companies to bring their capital to New Jersey. It supports businesses investing in manufacturing in the Garden State. Eligible companies can earn tax credits based off their investment and job creation and fueling growth across the state. That concludes my portion of this presentation. For more information, please visit our website at www.njeda.gov/nextnjmfg or email us at nextnjmfg@njeda.gov, and be sure to follow us on the social media channels. Thank you, and I will kick it back to Virginia for her closing remarks.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Jean. So just a few reminders on the public feedback policy. Feedback may be submitted verbally using the raise hand function in Zoom or in writing through the Q&A feature. Input will not be accepted verbally. Well, this is moot at this point until the NJEDA has concluded its presentation. Each member of the public wishing to speak during the feedback period should use a raise hand function. The host will acknowledge each speaker in the order in which they raise their hand and will open your microphone to make your comments. To ensure everyone has an opportunity to speak, each speaker will have a minimum of 3 minutes to speak and should limit input to matters specific to the Next New Jersey Manufacturing Program. If time remains at the end of the session, we'll reopen the opportunity for additional remarks. Speakers should not expect to engage in a dialogue. NJEDA staff may respond to basic questions or clarify a speaker's input. However, NJEDA staff are not obligated to answer impromptu questions or address remarks from members of the public. And with that, we'll open it up for questions or comments.
Andy? Andy?
Jasmine, are there multiple people with raised hands?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the next person. This is a phone number. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Andy, is that you? Okay. Let's try this person. Hello? Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Barry.
Hey, I think Matthew's addressing. I had two questions. One was a little bit more about the collaborative effort and how that will work and be benchmarked on the eligibility period, and whether, because we spoke about the jobs and the CapEx and say you don't hit 20%. And that question is how that's going to be valued with the collaboration in terms of reduction or forfeiture during the different periods in the grace period. how that will work. And I posted another question about the QBF, but I'll ask that one first.
Yeah, that's right. So we look at your agreement that you put in place for your collaboration. So we have a lot of different ways of a company to meet that. Based on whatever your contract is with whatever agency you use, or not agencies, but different different partners, we would base your collaboration agreement and we would benchmark it off of that. It really won't have an impact as far as your job numbers, right? And it's more of the standalone collaboration agreement.
Okay. Thanks. So just if I understand, that's not necessarily going to impact the actual compliance per se.
It does if your agreement is renewable each year and you don't renew it in one of those years, then it would be considered a default. However, if you have a 10-year agreement with a university or an organization that for apprenticeship or any of the other requirements, then we would just measure it against that.
Okay, so it's gets specific and unique to the agreement. Appreciate
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. As far as the QBF is concerned, so let's say you have the primary activities of the manufacturer, but the space itself have different cost components and square footage. How is the CapEx going to be valued? Do you just have to hit that to more than 50% in manufacturing as a company, business enterprise as a whole, or are you going to dice it specifically to the different activities or components?
Yeah, so we do a couple of measurements, right? One is the measurement of square footage. So we base it off of saying, okay, what is considered primarily engaged in manufacturing, and do they meet the threshold, the test of over 50%, which is over primarily use. Then we look at capital investment for the different spaces as well, and whatever is deemed manufacturing is what would be considered eligible expenses. We will have a spreadsheet that accounts for all that, so that when the application does go live, the spreadsheet, you could actually allocate different square footage for different areas if you needed to, as well as staging and shipping and all that. So offices. However, those that are engaged in the manufacturing definition, then they would meet the eligible capital investment.
Thanks, Matthew.
You got it.
That's all.
Josh?
Hi, thank you. I typed in my question, but verbally also. Wondering how far into a project a New Jersey taxpayer can submit an application for this program. For example, if a site was already identified or equipment already ordered, but CapEx has been minimal or job creation has not begun, would that be a candidate for this program?
So we don't look back, Josh. We look forward on applications. However, you don't get tripped up by acquiring the site prior to application. One of the capital investment costs that are ineligible is site acquisition. However, any improvements, any equipment that's being purchased, and any new jobs that are being hired after the submission of a complete application would be deemed eligible.
Got it. Thank you, Matthew.
You got
And I thought I noticed it was kind of quick, but was there a slide with like application fees at the end there?
Yeah, there are, and also on our website, if you go to www.njeda.gov/next NJMFG, we also have it listed there too.
Got it. And
As well as our presentation, and then on our rules website, we all have presentation as well as the EO63 presentation as well as the rules.
thank you. And will the board process, board approval, board time-in be similar to Aspire and Merge, or will this be unique?
This, I would say, I would follow similar, except that it's not, Emerge and Aspire tend to have a lot more complexity. We don't see this being as complex with our underwriting review. However, it would follow the same steps, being that it needs to go into front of a board. So we'd probably assume a minimum of a 2-month period to get into a board for board approval from the time of a complete application.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's no one else with their hand raised currently. Yep, hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, one more. Holly?
And maybe you have said this, but if you could clarify, if there is a projected number of new jobs that would be qualified and investment in the initial application and agreement, if the business exceeds that amount of investment in job creation, is the award larger, assuming it doesn't meet the maximum?
No. So Holly, the way, once we approve it at board, that sets your minimum numbers that you have to hit. So if you committed to creating 100 new jobs and committed to $100 million in capital investment, those are your requirements. Anything above that, we wouldn't, we don't.
You don't pay out or
increase.
award.
Right, yeah, it's based on the approval itself.
Okay, could you also explain the timeline for the credit issued within
Yeah.
that 5-year period?
Yeah, absolutely. So once a company comes in, gets board approved, they then have a minimum of 3 years to meet the job requirements and capital investment. And then there are 2 6-month extension, right? So effectively you have 4 years to meet your job numbers and capital investment. Now, if you were able to complete your capital investment within the first year and your jobs hired within the first year, you could come in and certify. From the time of certification, we then start sending, the compliance team starts reviewing your information, verifies it, and then sends it, once approved, then sends it over to taxation to issue your tax certificate. That tax certificate has the bearing of either using against your tax obligation, or you could sell those tax credits in the open market. Currently, the open market tax credits are being bought at 90 to 91 cents on the dollar. That's a little bit more than what you probably asked, Holly, but
Yeah, no.
yeah.
So if the tax certificate, is it issued when you meet the requirements or when you meet your commitment? So if you meet the requirements in year 1, let's say,
Yep.
but then you meet the commitment in year 2, are you paid anything in year 1?
So,
Or receiving
so
a
when you're
credit?
saying jobs and capital investment?
Jobs and
Then-
capital investment. Let's say you get the 10 million and the 20 jobs in
Yep.
year 1,
Yep.
but you've committed to 50 million, and that investment follows in year 2, along with 30
Yes.
more jobs that you've
Right.
committed to.
Yeah, so you would have to meet both requirements, or as well as all the other eligibility components. But that's when you want to start certifying. We won't certify prior, so you won't have a partial award, is what I
Okay,
think
so you
you're-
don't certify until you meet what you've committed to.
Correct.
Got it.
And you wouldn't want to, in all honesty, because then you would get you don't want a partial award, because that just would, not that the program allows it, but that would reduce your award over that period of
Yep,
time. You
yep.
want to maximize on your award by getting getting to your CapEx and your job numbers.
Right. So you get the certification, and then you have 5 full years from that certification.
That you'll get tax credits on, right?
Got it.
Yep. Harry, Barry,
Josh.
okay.
Yeah, Josh?
Hey, thank you for letting me get another question in. Just wondering if, and this might not be fair, just wondering if the authority has some sort of sense about the demand they're expecting for this program. And, I'm just thinking about MVP 3, for example.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a run on this credit allocation, do you suspect?
So $500 million is a lot, Josh. However, we have seen a lot of interest in the marketplace. I think MVP, all 3 phases were great. However, this allocation is a lot greater in size. So it's hard to judge. However, just hearing the feedback from the marketplace, we do think we'll see a good number of applications. But not to the size of what MVP was, where we were oversubscribed within like 24 hours or 48 hours.
Right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jasmine, any more raised hands?
Yes, I'm unmuting them. Arif?
Yes, hi, thank you for taking my question. I just wanted clarity on why non-retail food and beverage are not eligible for this program, and does that mean indoor farms are not eligible for this program?
So non-retail food and beverage manufacturers are eligible. Indoor farms are not.
What's the difference? I'm sorry.
So it was just a carve out. So agricultural type of manufacturing was not included in the bill.
Got it.
Retail food and beverage manufacturing for us.
Got it. Understood. I'm just, is there any specific reason for that? Is it like because maybe USDA programs cover this and hence you don't need to cover this? Not quite sure.
Yeah, that's more of a legislative call. But yeah, but I mean, we do have that open where you could put into the rules our feedback. So if you want to put that in your feedback, we definitely will take it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, we're an indoor farm. You know, we make strawberries here in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, and you know, these are big projects. It's
Yes.
$100 million per farm, so
Yep.
it's as much manufacturing as it is farming.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. And we thank you for coming in with your MVP applications as well. And
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Okay. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for answering my question.
You got it.
Hi, Matthew.
Mary?
Yes. Hey, how are you? So just, I know I just want to just follow up on my question. For a company that say puts in the application prior to board approval, I understand after approval, you got 3 years to certify. You know, companies during the process sometimes want to go ahead, get those jobs. They see that, they want to lose it, they want to make that investment. Will that be held against them, right? I don't think there's that component of the major decision or the but-for that we have in some of the other programs. I'm just wondering if that after the application is submitted, just confirm that still can get qualified to be certified. That would be included in the calculation, because I know pre-costs are no good.
Yeah, if I understand your question correctly, there you will not be dinged for creating those jobs after the submission of the application. But as Matt alluded to before, as it relates to certification, you would want to certify to those jobs in that CapEx after board approval when you have 3 years or it's actually 4 years to do that, but you will not be dinged for starting to hire those jobs.
Yeah, so just to clarify that one more step, Barry. So it's the application itself needs to be itself being submitted doesn't deem it complete. It has to be a complete application. So once we deem an application complete, you could then start hiring and start spending for CapEx before we even go to our board. I mean, you're taking the risk, right? A company is taking that risk that they'll be approved at the board meeting and they'll meet all the eligibility criteria, but that just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's similar almost to like the MVP, where there's that risk. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, there is no but for like the Emerge program in this program.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a few more. Dan?
Hi, thank you. 2 questions. First of all, you had alluded to an R&D project can qualify under certain circumstances. Would just like to clarify that. And second of all, the MVP program, this is meant to supplement that. That will not be coming back.
Did you want to take that, Ivan, or you want me to take it?
If you could, I'm going to work on the next question.
Okay, so the first part of that well, let me answer the second part. MVP is an allocation from the budget line item. Obviously, we're going through it. We're going to be going through an administration change with the new governor coming in for next year. So we're not sure if there is going to be another allocation for MVP. So there's no promise on that one. Your first part of the question was about R&D. So there are specific R&D manufacturing that's eligible, and it's if you go to our website, it actually kind of defines it, or if you look in the rules, and I could also email it to you too. That was Dan that asked that question.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Matthew.
all right, yeah, I'll send you that information as well.
Chris?
Hi, yes. Thanks for taking my question and thanks for sharing the details on this exciting program. So Ivan had answered my question in the chat. Just wanted to bring it here to the floor. Say I'm interested in or in the process of applying for Aspire, and I'm also interested in this program. Some general guidance. Would I be, say creating 60 new jobs? Would the idea be to split the jobs across Aspire and this when doing the Aspire net benefits test?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, it's difficult when both programs has capital investment requirements, right? And what happens is it's ideal to do an analysis on which program would be more beneficial for you. Aspire has the net benefit test. The manufacturing program does not. So there's not that limitation in this program as Aspire. So also with compliance wise, we would have to bifurcate. If you came in for two different applications, then you would have to bifurcate it. So it's really a kind of a tough compliance. So we always advise companies to see which is the most beneficial for them if they're trying to go for one or the other.
Okay, thanks for that. Are materials available at this point as far as projecting out or MFG, or is that forthcoming?
So we have our website has some of the additional information. I think what you're asking is if the application is available. The application we're working on diligently, and we're hoping to have it out in the next few months with a target date of sometime in October, but fall would be definitely what we're tracking for.
Okay, thank you very much.
You got it.
Heather?
Yes, hello, thank you. My name's Heather Szymanski. I'm an outreach account manager with representing JCP&L Energy Solutions for Business programs. So I'm with TRC in the background. I just wanted to mention one thing to the gentleman who talked about the farming, agricultural, and manufacturing areas. That's an area I'm specifically focused on. And I believe they have a location in PSE&G territory, but we can help kind of show what stackable incentives there are. I was excited to see about this program today and to find out what we could, how we could present this to businesses, because I'm working with several manufacturers who want to expand. So we want to get them the incentives that we have, which are incredibly significant, some of the best in the country. And we've already started talking with Erica Breedeman, who's with wonderful. And so, New Jersey Cools and other areas where we can collaborate. How do you see this best fitting in with some of the utility programs, or is there any kind of coordination? I want to make sure that people who are going through us know that this is available on your side and vice versa, because this is, significant funding every which way.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely would love to coordinate with you. I think Erica does a good job with trying to partner up with yourself and labor department and looking for all the different opportunities for manufacturers in the state of New Jersey. But we could set up a call for us to kind of to connect as well, so that we can
That'd
talk
be
about
wonderful.
programs and
Thank
then
you so much.
share some of our marketing materials with each other. And of course, our website has a lot of that information too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Heather. Thank you.
Okay, there are currently no one else.
So there was one question on the chat, just clarifying applications will be out in October, but they won't be accepted until March. No, the deadline for the application, meaning the sunset of the program, is in March 2029. Once the application goes live, we'll start taking applications and start reviewing it and get it into the board process.
There are currently no one else with their hand raised.
Terrific, Jasmine, thank you. And thank you to our presenters today. And we appreciate everybody attending. And please, if you have additional written remarks, you can submit them via the website. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.